hope you're well. This is a long chatty process, so I hope you enjoy those. This one is using the Nelly and Clem International Scrapbook Day freebie kit. So if you like the kit you can see in front of you, make sure to head over to her website. I will link it down below for you. It's totally free, and if you join the little challenge that she's got going on, you could win a prize. So I will make sure to link the website and the challenge down below for you. I'm using my kit in the scrap therapy book that you can see on the screen now. I'm just flicking through to look for the page that I want. I am doing a little bit of a Sue's Fish style layout for this one. So I have got a page protector, which is I think it's a 6x8 page protector, and I'm going to cut it down in just a second. But I'm looking for a page to work on in my little album. I'm just working out what size I need the page protector to be. I decide that 2x3 works out quite perfectly, so I trim that one down. I've taken the blue polka dot paper out for size reference. I'm not actually going to use that one. I use the gorgeous yellow paper from the kit. Just making sure this is the right size, trimming it down a little bit, getting rid of that little excess piece of plastic at the top there. I love adding sequins and buttons and all of that good stuff to my layouts, so these little clear pages are a perfect way to do that. This was also a lot of fun to put together because it was something a little bit different. Here's the yellow paper that I was talking about. How beautiful is that with all the hearts? Can't remember the size of my pages, so I'm just measuring that page and then cutting my yellow paper down. I think, if I remember rightly, it is 5 by 6 3/4. Unfortunately, I've cut the top off of my scoreboard in the frame, so I can't tell you exactly. If you're interested, ask me in the comments and I will measure it for you. Working out where I need my holes in this plastic piece and where I need them on the yellow one as well. Looking through the book for a page to either use or put it next to. I think I'm going to use this Is Me page. So this is from a Lollipop Box Club kit, but I actually don't end up using it. So I take it out. I will show you what I do with it because I've put it back in my book to use at a later date. And I'd show you the photo and that sort of stuff. So I couldn't get rid of it completely, but I don't actually end up using the This Is Me page. Punching those holes. Please do let me know in the comments if you have seen any really good challenges or freebies or anything for International Scrapbook Day or International Scrapbook Weekend, should I say. I'd love to join in some challenges and have a look at all of the cool projects. And who doesn't love a freebie? I am adding this into the album. Cutting out my picture. So this is one that was left over. I'm not sure why, maybe I printed it the wrong size or something, but I thought it was really cool to have a photo of me amongst all of these really pretty goodies and ephemera about scrapbooking. So it's just a little, you know, I love paper page, just for fun, nothing else. No real rhyme or reason to it. This is how I decorate the This Is Me page. I'm just tearing the edge of that blue paper, which is another Nelly and Clem one, and then having it go up to the sort of illustrated side on the This Is Me page. Like I said, I do go with a different background, but I thought I'd show you this one in case I use it in another scrap therapy process. This is the reason I didn't use it, because my photo is too big, in my opinion. The photo fits, but I wouldn't be able to add any of the pretty ephemera, so that wasn't going to be much fun, which is why I decided to change it out. Going through all of my ephemera, working out the pieces that I absolutely must have on this page. I must have all of these, to be honest. I love the little quotes. That paper is my jam. It's just so sweet. The little cup with all the pencils and paintbrushes. This little pencil with International Scrapbook Day 2022 on it was my favourite, so I really wanted to add this on somehow, and I thought if I added it onto the clear piece, I've actually cut out 2 pages of ephemera, so I've got 2 of each thing. I could turn it over and add the second pencil on the other side, so it won't show the blank white, it will look exactly the same on the other side. I know I want to use that ticket to scrap, and I love the International Scrapbook Day, like the key ring looking one as well, so I'm trying to work out how to incorporate those. This is the paper I end up using, this stripy one, again from Nelly Clem. I will find out what kit that's from and link it down below for you. I'm pretty sure she has a discount code running this weekend, so if you do want to grab any of her other kits, now would be a great time to do so. I know I want to map my photo on something, so I grab out some vellum and some other coloured papers. I end up just using the vellum and adding multiple layers of it. I've finally found my little tweezers and I'm so happy. They ended up in the kitchen somehow. Who knows how? But they really are invaluable to me now. I just love them. I think they were a gift. I'm pretty sure Measure Once Cut Twice sent them to me. I think. She sent me 2 different little tools, if I remember correctly. And I'd never really used them before, and once I used them I was like, oh, this makes everything so much easier. So they are a staple on my desk now. If you don't have a good pair of tweezers, I definitely recommend you go and grab yourself a pair. Makes gems and things so much easier. I look at this doily and that keyring. I'm not convinced. I decide to scrap everything on the clear pocket page and add on that pencil because that's the only piece that I'm absolutely sure about right now. Using double-sided tape to stick that down. Like I said, I will be covering the other side, so I'm not too worried about how it looks. I think, yeah, I do show you me adding the second one on the back. The only thing is the writing on the pencil is upside down, so I think I will go over that with a little word sticker or something in the future. Adding a little bit of glue to make sure it's stuck. Then I decide not to use the doily and to go for a sort of cascade of embellishments along that right hand side there. So again, pulling out the bits I really want to use. I know I want to use that little tab. What does it say? I think it says Happy Scrappy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it says. I haven't got the kit in front of me. Same as that cup, I really want to use that, so I'm poking that behind the photo there. Adding some tissue paper onto the back of my photo, just to give it a bit more texture and make it stand off the page a bit more. This tissue paper was sent to me some Happy Mail, I believe, wrapped with something wrapped in it, sorry. So it's great to be using those things up from my stash. I do find that with printable kits, I tend to use more things from my stash like sequins and gems and all the little extra bits, which I really love because those are the bits that sort of get stuck in my stash for quite a while. So I love that this gives me the opportunity to use a bunch of those up. I haven't added that completely square onto the back, it's sort of a little bit off. So that adds some extra texture. And then I'm adding a white piece behind just to make that pink tissue paper pop a bit more. I would have had this up on foam tape, but I'm trying to keep these pages slightly less bulky I do use some foam tape, but not as bulky as my other things because it does have to be in an album. I have added some stitching along the right hand side there with some yellow thread. I had yellow thread in my sewing machine, it was meant to be. It works so well with this colour scheme in the kit. Adding double-sided foam tape on this ticket piece. I've also stuck down that little cup. And I'm basically just getting things where I want them to go. This little pencil gets completely covered and I was gutted about it. So I have cut it off and I'm going to add it into the pot or the cup further over to the right hand side so you can still see it. It does mess with the perfectly spread out design, but my pen pots never look like that anyway, so I was happy to have it look a bit more messy, shall we say. Popping the ticket to scrap piece up there. And then I'm basically just going to add all different bits of ephemera and bits and pieces going down that right hand side. I do cover up a lot of the stitching, but I still like how it turned out. I like that it sort of peeks through in places. Here I am looking for somewhere to put this pencil. Ultimately, I decided to put it back in the pot just in a different space. Cutting a slit here so it fits a bit nicer. And it just looks like a more crowded pen pot, really. I really like the paper is my jam piece, but it pokes over the edge. Now at first I try and fix this by cutting a slice off, but then the paper and the my get slightly lost. So I decide to go for the whole piece and just have it poke off of the side, or hang off of the side. It will poke out of the album, but I'm cool with that, I don't mind. This is a fun to create album, it's not really to serve a purpose other than to enjoy the actual making of it, so things like paper hanging over the edge is not a problem in this project. I want to add these rainbows, so I'm cutting them slightly smaller and finding places to poke them in. I don't like how I had the previous one, so I'm changing that for the other rainbow. Adding some double-sided tape on the back of that one. Sticking it down, and then I just cut off the excess and then find another spot to poke that in. I do love cutting ephemera pieces apart and finding a place for both pieces, or however many pieces I have. Even more rainbows. I think I end up adding all of the rainbows on here. They become quite a fundamental piece of my layering puzzle. I really love these scissors, and now I'm watching it back, I wish I had poked them down behind the photo, but ultimately I popped them somewhere else. They do make the page purely because I couldn't leave them off. I just loved them. And I do have all pink scissors, so it was perfect. Far too perfect for me to leave them off. More rainbows, finding more spots for those. Messing with the scissors. I want to make sure that my logo isn't covered up, so I'm trying to find a way to add those on and not have them cover too much of the photo. Think about adding this little green tab, but I decided to swap it out for a yellow one instead. I think because I have the yellow of the cup at the bottom, having some yellow at the top balances it really nicely. Let's just wait for video and me to work that out. There you go. I'm ahead of myself. And I use my tiny attacher to add that on. My tiny attacher has to be one of my most used tools. What is your most used tool in your scrap space? other than scissors. I think we all use scissors on a daily basis. Adding a little bit of foam tape to the bottom and then just hot glue at the top there, holding the scissors in place. I've never joined in with International Scrapbook Day before, so I'm really excited to explore all of the challenges and things that are going on. Make sure you do let me know if you know of any, where I should be looking and what I should be joining in with, since I'm a newbie to all of that stuff. Finding little spots to tuck these rainbows into. I love when I use all of the pieces, especially if I've cut something apart. It's really satisfying to use all of the pieces up. Back over to this clear page. I know I want this tab, and cut forward to me messing with them all and working out where I want some things. So I've added some flowers down that bottom right pocket, they stay. I have added some teeny tiny buttons in the top left. I love how these look. I really struggle to use buttons in crafting, but since watching a lot of Sue's, I've been really inspired to get them out and get them on a page. Looking for some beads to add in there as well. Add a little X and a little white bead with a black heart on the front and the back, actually, I think. And I sew that little pocket closed and stick my tab piece on the top there. Then I use the other tab on the back, so it's double-sided. It's really handy having two of each piece. I definitely recommend that if you're working on a clear page protector or clear page. A nice simple little shaker pocket with pretty things. My favourite. There we are, adding the other one on the back. This is a slightly longer video, so you'll have to let me know if you enjoy those. There was lots of fussing in this one, and I wanted to make sure I kept a decent amount of me being indecisive. I like to try and keep it real. The corner rounder on this piece I thought would be a really cool hack, and it would do all of the edges nicely. It does not. Waste of time. I end up cutting them with my scissors. I did actually fussy cut this kit, but there are PNGs, I believe. And even if there aren't, if you've got the silhouette, you can trace the images and it will cut it out for you. So that's a top tip from me. Tripping over my words as usual. I'm using the iNSD clipboard. I didn't pay any attention to this page protector before I cut it up. So the pocket's actually open on the other side, which is rather irritating, but I make it work. So I have the clipboard in the pocket on the back, and then it's outside of the pocket on the front, on the side that I'm working on. It does poke out of the pocket at the back, which I'm fine with, but it looks kind of pretty, sort of in a floaty way. It's just floating there, and I like how that looks. I think I go ahead and add those flowers shortly. I know I want to add this little circle. What does it say? It says something really funny, like witty. I can't think of it. Might say like grown-ass woman with hobbies or something like that, and I just loved it. I loved the sentiment on it. So I'm adding the flowers in there. I have tried to stitch that closed and my machine was just not having it. It kept going wrong. So I gave up. This is supposed to be fun after all, so I wasn't fighting with my machine. I decided I'm just going to cover up the side that didn't close properly. It is stitched closed enough that those flowers won't come out, so I'm happy with that. Grabbing all of my sequins and sprinkly bits, I decide to add these into the bottom two left pockets. These are from, I want to say Little Lucy's. I think. So I add those into those two pockets, and I use tape to hold those closed. So the reason I've made those two the same is I want this circle to overlap both of them. So I want it to look like one big shaker pocket. Adding this circle on the front. Then I use double-sided tape to close these up. I do cover the tape with word stickers later on. So I had a plan to cover these up. I used the tape mostly because my sewing machine wasn't playing ball. Otherwise I probably would have stitched everything closed, but tape works just as well. And then when I shake it up, you can see that it looks like one big shaker pocket rather than the two little ones. And I add a matching circle on the back page as well. So the back is basically just a mirror of the front. There we go. Moving all my sprinkly bits about. And looking through my sequins, so these are some mixes I made last year, I think. And they match the colours for this kit. So I pulled them out thinking I'd use them somewhere. Turns out I used them for, what's the word? Sort of in place of enamel dots, I just scatter them across the layout. These are my favourite ones, these pink ones, not that one, that's a bead. The big pink one that I placed first is from Cartwright Sequins. And I am fighting the urge to make another order because their sequins are beautiful. But the shipping is killer to the UK, absolutely killer. It's one of those things that it's probably worth it if you're going to make a big order. But then obviously that's big order prices. So I have to wait until I can do one of those big orders. Adding some yellow sequins, some of these purpley ones. Anything that I think matches, sorry. I really am tripping over my words today. I think it's because it's longer. I'm chatting more, so I'm tripping over things more. Anything that I think I can tuck behind somewhere. Just adding loads of sparkly interest. It's my favourite kind of interest. Then I want to bring some flowers over to the right because obviously I've got some on the left. I add this pale pink one onto the cup, and then I tuck that yellow one behind the ticket to scrap. I have so many flowers in my stash and they're one of the things I really want to get used up. I love how they look, they never make it onto layouts and I don't know why. So I'm going to make a conscious effort to use those up. I have pulled out a bunch of enamel dots and jemmies and all of those good things. And I'm doing the same as the sequins, I'm just looking for places to tuck them and cluster them, going for colours that match the kit. I really need to use up some enamel dots and gems. I use them all the time on everything, but they're one of those things I never seem to finish. I never seem to throw away a backing piece, so I can't be using them enough. Is there something in your stash that you never seem to finish? Never seem to throw it away? Mine would either be enamel dots or washi tape. I cannot remember the last time I finished a roll of washi tape. I think it might have happened like once. Some of these are quite close to being finished up actually, some of these sheets of enamel dots. And they're always the ones that don't match what I'm doing. I've got like 2 left and I can't find a layout to put them on. Adding some little gems everywhere. I do go back and add some extra sequins shortly as well. Added a little gem in the centre of that flower because it didn't have a bead in the centre. Adding some enamel dots and some gems on the clear piece on the left as well. I will have to go in on the other side and mirror them. But I think I need to stick the ones down on the plastic with hot glue. So I don't know if it's 100% necessary, but I don't trust they won't come off the plastic. So I think I will go back and add hot glue onto those ones. And then obviously I'll hot glue the same on the back there. I tend to add my sparkly bits in clusters of 3 or 5 odd numbers, I guess. And I have gone all out for this, so I've got like 5s and 7s and all sorts. All of the glitzy sparkly bits for this one. Paper is my jam and so are sparkles. And this makes that blindingly obvious. Even more enamel dots. These tweezers are great for adding enamel dots and sequins. I know I've said that already, but they really are an absolute staple. I don't like to leave enamel dots on my desk. I want them all on the page, otherwise they get forgotten and they get sort of wiped up and thrown away, and I can't stand the waste. So if they get stuck on my cutting board, I try and add them onto the page somewhere or the project somewhere. Adding a little sequin. I think the next thing I do is grab out the word stickers. Oh, after I've added this heart, add this little yellow heart on here. Then, yep, I've got the Tim Holtz phrase stickers. I'm not entirely sure what they're called. Maybe Small Talk? If you want to know, leave me a comment and I'll look at the packet for you. But I've got Creativity Takes Courage, because I really genuinely believe it does, and Do What You Love on there. And then I'm choosing some phrases to go on the back that are the same length, so that you can't see the back of the stickers. And that is my layout complete. So I have the clear piece in front of the yellow background, and then obviously my layout on the right. I hope you have enjoyed hanging out and crafting with me, and I will see you again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!